What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are traditional fans with opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. The Wire Magician, Episode 9. So in this one, Um, Nell's hometown, Abalai, has a quest for goblins and undead skeletons, and he asks Rio to help him out. Since the witness job, is like a few days away, Hugh lets Rio go, but tells him other parties have not been able to do the quest because Abalai has refused to let them fight. So Nils talks with Mayor Boulon basically learns that all the other pirates tried to fight the skeletons in a secret area, and to reveal that the village is protected by guardian beasts living in the woods near a shrine. So the party destroys the goblin nest, and shown that revealed that the village worships one of the forgotten goddesses named the Earth Mother, and shown the guardian beast is a Fenrir named Nukusin. His real Fenrir are actually related to fairies, so he, you know, likes Rio as a student of the Fairy King, and it's revealed that the skeletons are guards for an art skeleton that the Kusin had imprisoned in the shrine until the party destroys the art skeleton. And it's revealed that the shrine has a statue of the Earth Mother, holding a crystal that's broken. And shown through the crystal, so the crystal is shown to have once protected Avalai, but broken that turned the shrine into a dungeon. So Nasu seals the entrance. So Nils and Eamon decide to get a house to buy a house, and they invite Rio to join them. Rio's a little unsure about that, so Hugh is able to basically substitute for him at a festival at Witnash. Then we see an Imperial commander and basically one of her subordinates start heading towards Witnash by order of the Emperor, so looks like we're gonna have a big confrontation, between the Empire and, the area Rio's living in. So that should be interesting. See, I really like this episode, like stuff they're setting up, like, all the stuff with the quest, the Fenrir, looking forward to the next one. Dr. Stone, Season 4, Episode 21. So, in this one, we see, like, the big battle starts between Senku's side and Stanley's side. Luna and Chelsea are told to escape, before the fight starts. And, like, basically, Senku's group just starts like, suffering heavy losses. So Joel contacts the group, says that he completed the Medusa device, and now basically then, basically once with everyone's losses, even on the boat, to reveal that the only way to get victory is to get another petrification event, just like the first one that happened. So now on the ship, Joel's the only one that remains after everyone else got gunned down. Aaron's buried alive. He grabs Medusa, but Brody, one of Stanley's subordinates, smashes the vault on his arm. But there's a transmission on his watch from the Y Man, who said basically triggers Medusa, causing a second global petrification. So basically, the whole earth is about to get turned to stone again. Yeah. So yeah, so that will obviously a lot of people who are close to death that will heal them. Like what you know. So basically, people who are about to die are not going to be dead. They're going to live. So yeah, so I really like so I like all the combat. Definitely one of the more action-packed episodes this series has had, and very high stakes. Of course, yes, not there's not going to be a lot of deaths here, if any, but it's still very high stakes because you don't know if anyone's going to live long enough to be able to be petrified. But yeah, I liked the stakes, like the action, liked all the stuff they were doing with the Medusa devices. So yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. South Park season 27, episode 4. So in this one, so all the girls at South Park Elementary, they're buying these Labubu plushies, which is a Hong Kong brand. So it's not a brand created within South Park, it's a real life brand. Now, so yeah, and so one of the girls, Red, asked Butters to get her a rare Labubu for her birthday. So what Butters has to do goes to this Asian pop-up store, which is the old City Walk. Now it's called like I think it's like City Pop-up Store, whatever City Pop-up, because Walk is dead. Play on the phrase "woke is dead," which is seems to me like the City Walk guy just doesn't understand that City Walk is not dead. Hmm. And so basically it keeps increasing the prices as tariffs increase. So, which at least a question now. I'm not an expert on geopolitics, but don't know how the heck how is Hong Kong stuff impacted by tariffs. Like, oh, I mean, it's a China-based retailer, Pop Mart that makes it. So I guess I can understand if it's a Hong Kong brand, but the brand's owned by a Chinese company. Okay, see that kind of makes sense how tariffs could affect the price. But basically the guy keeps raising them really high. Yeah, so Blair just keeps going in to a mystery box to get this special rare one. He spends hundreds of dollars. Basically, he's trying to. He thinks he has a shot with her, with Red. And while it's good, so Jesus, who's the school counselor, basically, after learning about, so there were two girls who were fighting each other, arguing about who had the better Labubus. He wants to ban Labubus and TikTok and cell phones in schools. And then basically, he learns that Labubus that basically what the girls do with them is they do some satanic ritual with them, make TikToks out of it. Oh. I think it's the first time, to my knowledge, that TikTok's been brought up in South Park. At least to my knowledge. Like, I don't even know what the phrase. I mean, it may not be the first time TikTok's been used in South Park. Because I think they've used other social media sites. But man, they're bringing up TikTok. Yeah. So basically, you have a bunch of girls making TikToks of them doing demon rituals. Basically, they summon Satan. And one of the running gags is that everyone's suspecting that Trump is screwing Satan. And to play on phrase how, because like you sometimes have people say like, because I've never personally heard it, but it is very possible, when they say he's effing Satan, play on the phrase of saying that they're saying he is Satan, not that he's screwing Satan. In real life, there's probably some people who call Trump Satan. There's probably some people who do that. There probably are. I'm not one of those people because calling someone Satan is a little extreme. You know, that is a very heavy connotation to it. Anyway, but they say like he's and you have like all the Fox News people being like happy that he's screwing Satan. Just when and it's basically it's been private announced, it becomes public at the end where Satan reveals to Jesus that he's pregnant with Trump's child. So yeah, and Jesus decides to have Labubu's TikTok phones banned on school at all schools. You know, something that well, I'm not gonna say what my opinion about that is. As far as episode, I thought this was funny. This might be the best episode of the season. Like, it is more of like a standard South Park thing with like the over the top like stuff with like the demon ritual stuff like that. Labubu's like it's like this is probably the best episode of the season. So I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Peacemaker season 2, episode 3. So in this one mostly has Peacemaker inside the alternate dimension. Trying to learn more about the world. Meets Hardcore of that timeline, who's dating Rick Flag Jr. in that universe. And so, yeah, so basically, this deals with, so basically, yeah, so Peacemaker has to deal with Hardcore in the alternate universe dating Rick Flag Jr. And, he tells Hardcore that he's trying to be a better man. And, yeah. So, hmm. So, Chris is very, in, basically he claims to try and prove and that the version of him in this universe is well received as a hero. Then, like, there's, like, an explosion that happens, like, basically when this group called Sons of Liberty attacked the government building, Peacemaker takes out the attackers, frees the hostages, so stop the explosives. Then, like, yeah. Then, basically it shows, like, a what if Peacemaker was actually respected by people. You know, stuff like with, one bunch of the side characters are, like, having a few conversations that are in the main universe that are wasted. Like, I'm like, why is Vigilante still alive? Can someone please get rid of this character? He's annoying. I really must care is when this show freaking sucks. So yeah. And then yeah, so basically then it's real that Hardcore in the main universe had screwed Rick Flag Jr. They see 3 years before this show begins. And then yeah, so then after until Argus is still hunting like Peacemaker, trying to find them. Then Economos tries to talk with Argus, but his job's at risk. Then yeah, So this episode ends on cliffhanger with Peacemaker coming across his home, finding Argus like heading towards his doorstep. So Peacemaker's there, ready to fight. Yeah. So yeah, so I did not like this episode. That was boring. Like there's no purpose in this show. Like it's not even good on it. It's not good. Like I think it. I think this episode sucked. That was boring. Probably maybe one of the more tolerable ones from this season, but it's like saying, "What's the smartest retard?" But yeah, I did not like this episode. But I will watch the next one just out of obligation. Beavis and Butthead, season 11, episodes 1 and 2. So in this one, these ones, so segments, you have a segment where Butthead loses his braces after blind out on a camera actor, and he thinks his looks improve, but they don't, obviously. Then you have like where old Butthead suffers a heart attack near stairs. Beavis tries to help him, goes to a hospital, but kind of forgets and causes problem. Then like basically, he tells Butthead to improve his eating habits, exercise, blah blah blah. Then yeah. So obviously doesn't work for Butthead. And then old Beavis and Butthead come across Todd, the dude, the jock who would like beat him up and stuff. They find him like working as a plumber, so they try to learn from him and fail miserably. Then Beavis and Butthead try to get AI to do their homework, but come across I think it was like a alpine light, uh, like alpine ice, whatever. Yeah. So since it's integrated, they think that's artificial intelligence, but they're failing to do homework. They end up, yelling at the alleged AI, then beat up then they get beat up by his homeless dude, who when they hear him speak, they thought it was the AI speaking, so that bit was funny. So yeah, it's return form. Mike Judge is having himself a great year. So I really like this one. Looking forward to the next one. That's stealing. So in this one, so you have a bartender named Hank Thompson who lives in New York and Lower East Side. So basically, he was a top baseball prospect, planned to play for the San Francisco Giants, but then a car wreck gave him a career-ending injury and killed his friend Dale. It was a drunken car crash. Now, Hank's neighbor, you know, named Russ Binder, goes to London, sees a sick father who ends up dying. He leaves Hank to take care of this cat, Bud. Now, two Russians named Alexei and Pavel beat up Hank trying to find Russ. Causes Hank to lose a kidney, which makes him not able to drink. Which causes problems when he does drink later. Now, this narcotics detective named Elise Roman questions Hank and is revealed Russ is a drug dealer. Something he's involved with the criminal underworld. Basically, you have the Russians, you have these Jewish mobsters named Lipa and Shmuley Drucker. Hank finds a key hidden in Bud's litter box. Basically, it's like fake blue toy that had the key inside. So, basically, after being hung over, Um, Hank's interrogated by the Russians and this Puerto Rican guy named Colorado. Hank can't remember what happened, so he leaves. Hank leaves Bud with his girlfriend Yvonne, who then murdered. So Roman, who's revealed to be working with the Russians, you know, basically Hank's forced to take her and the Russians to the bar he works at, and that leads to like the other people at the bar, like his boss, like Hank's boss, and one of the longtime customers getting killed. And yeah, so when Hank escapes, he comes across Russ, then who shows him the money. Basically, he the day he was supposed to give money to everyone, he went to go with his dad, but that basically caused all this mess. So he and Colin want to try to delay like the exchanging of money. So yeah, and so yeah, and then Russ like gradually like, something happens to his head because like he got hit with a baseball bat. So yeah, so then after a few big chase, Russ dies of his injuries on the train, and Hank surrenders himself to the truckers, and they go to kill Roman. And then once Hank impales like Roman's foot with like a wooden bit of a portion of a bat, truckers kill Roman, and Hank shows them where the key is. They start heading towards like where the money's at, but then once Hank learns that his girlfriend Yvonne was murdered by the truckers, he his seatbelt was buckled while the others were not. He kills the two truckers by intentionally crashing into a pole. He then gets the money, gives a portion of it to his mother, and leaves for Tulum. So yeah, I actually liked this movie. I thought it was good. It's decent. It's not the best. Like Austin Butler is awesome. Matt Smith is awesome. So yeah, they were standouts. Austin Butler's proven himself to be a very good actor. So yeah, I really liked this movie. I thought it was a decent movie. Good crime comedy. So yeah, I recommend watching it. June number 8, Hoshina's Day Off. So this is a one shot. Basically adapts like the OVA. Where like, Hoshina's on his day off and he's stalked. And and then he's stalked by like his subordinates and all that come across him. Then they be the kaiju. You know, basically do something for kids. Basically, it's what you see in the OVA. So it was basically exactly what you see, and I thought it was really good, really funny, interesting way to display it. But yeah, I thought it was a good one shot. I don't know if they're gonna do any more one shots, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Wednesday, season 2, episodes 5 through 8, and full season. So in this one, Wednesday wakes up from her coma. It's real that Weems is her spirit guide due to like her being Wednesday's 13th cousin, twice removed. I have no idea what the twice removed stuff means. So Tyler, of course, has escaped, along with Tyler, and so Baser's whole bit where so like Tyler's mother, Francois, like basically go away for a little bit after Francois makes a deal with Morticia. Then the zombie, Pugsley's zombie, revealed to be Isaac, who is Francois's brother, who had wanted to take out the hide inside of Francois. And so basically everyone's trying to find like so Wednesday tries to find the hides and prevent Enid's death. Like they even switch bodies and basically have to adjust to it. And that bit's funny. But then yeah, so then after Enid's death is prevented, there's a chance that Adams will die. So after trying to prevent Adam's death, basically Pugsley is kidnapped by Isaac. Once he uses Pugsley's magical powers to power up his machine to erase Tyler's hide, since Francois is too far gone. She's already gonna die soon anyway. And so it's really the reason like Gomez doesn't have powers because he lost his with when Isaac tried to use his first machine, which is the accident led to his death. Yeah, so and then and there's a little bit Enid becomes an alpha werewolf and she's now turning back into human form. So Tyler acts, Isaac after he betrayed his mother. So Francois fights Tyler, and then Francois dies. And Capri, who this one offers Tyler a chance to join, a group of hides. Tyler accepts that and I guess and leaves. Then Enid, who had disappeared during all this. So Wednesday, Fester, and Thane, they go to find Enid. There's a whole thing with Thane. Those Thane's really the hand of Isaac, but he escapes, rejoins the Adams, and Wednesday has a vision after helping after recovering like her part of her powers. She has a vision of her aunt Ophelia being held captive by Grandmama from. So yeah, that was it's saying as good as season one. Season one was a lot better. Is it still a decent season? It's whatever. I think they could have stopped after the first season, but that was fine. I'm interested in seeing how season three goes. These episodes were fine. Whole season was fine. Overall, that was decent. So yeah, like this season. Looking forward to the next one. Well, that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.